What's going on, guys? It's time to have a chat. Let's have a chat. Had a nice cigar this morning. Reasonable sized cigar. Now I'm gonna have a small one. I left the matches out. They're a little bit wet, but it is what it is. It's raining. So let's have a cigar in the rain and talk about life. Wow, that's stronger than the bigger one this morning. Let's talk about life. Let's get that cigar out of the way. Now, the title of this video is Life's a Setup. But Zach, how is life a setup? What do you know? You're only 23 years old. Surely you still work a job, right? No. 3 months ago, I quit my job. 3 months ago? No, almost 5 months ago. Let's say 4.5 months. 4.5 months ago, I quit my job. Hopefully you can hear me with the wind. And I wanted to do that for a while. But that's besides the point. The only reason I made that point is because I feel like I'm qualified to talk on this, because I don't currently work a 9 to 5 anymore. Hopefully I never have to go back. Let's not, never say never. But I quit my 9 to 5 5 months ago. 4.5, okay, cool. So this is what I want to speak about, life's a setup. So your parents make you, right? We won't go into that, they create you. You're a baby. Life's pretty cool. You don't really know what's going on. You don't have any opinions on the world. You don't have any stresses, any struggles. Because your parents' job is simply to bring you up and provide for you. Now you get a little bit older, you're a toddler now. And maybe you start going into nursery. Or if your parents can afford to stay at home with you, maybe you get brought up as a toddler at home. Life's still pretty chill. There's no real stresses. You're growing up now. You're walking, you're talking. But you don't really have any responsibilities yet. When you get a little bit older, you go on to primary school, or is it preschool in America? I don't know, let me know in the comments. You go on to preschool, primary school. And from the minute you walk into primary school, you're indoctrinated. You are taught to become a part of the system. Now, what is the system? Even though you weren't taught to pay taxes, the plan is by the end of school, you will eventually go onto a job and pay taxes and pay for the roads and the world around you. Obviously, road tax comes from your tax, your car tax, but besides the point. So you're a baby. You start walking, you start talking, you go to maybe nursery, and then you go to primary school. As I said, from the minute you walk into primary school, you're indoctrinated. You're taught things. And I'm not against school. You need to learn the basic things like maths, basic English. If you don't already speak English as your first language, of course you need to learn more English. Maybe you need extra lessons. So you spend what? Year 1 to year 6 in primary school, 6 years. And you're indoctrinated the whole time. You learn things that you need to learn, but you also are just preparing eventually to go into a job. You go into secondary school after primary school, indoctrinated for another, year 7 to year 11? Another 4 years. So you're indoctrinated for 10 years. What's the goal after school? The goal is to either go on to college and maybe study what you're gonna do in your life, go into sixth form, study your A-levels, which will eventually then pass on to university. A lot of people do their A-levels and they pass on to university. So you're at uni now. You've done 10 years of indoctrination. You're at uni and you spend, I don't know, what is it? I've never been to uni. 2-3 years. I think some courses or whatever they're called are 5 years. So you spent another, let's say you do 3 years, you spent 13 years altogether in indoctrination. All to what? All for what? What's the reason? To work a job, pay your taxes, and be a respectful member of society. Now, I'm not against university, I'm not against school, I'm not trying to say that before all the haters start commenting. Let it all out, whatever you want to say, let it out. "13 years of indoctrination. It's actually more, isn't it? Because there's 10 years primary and secondary, 2 years or 3 years A-levels. So let's say 15 years of indoctrination. For what? To get a job. To work a job that a lot of us don't actually want to work. To live a life that a lot of us don't actually want to live. You know, if you're honest with yourself, do you enjoy your job? Do you enjoy waking up every morning? I do. I love making these YouTube videos. I love trying to help people. And before I get further, the reason why I make these videos is because I want to make your mind think differently. I feel like a lot of the world's waking up. So let's keep waking up. Let's keep waking up more people. Let's keep making people realise that they can do anything they want in this life. So you spent 15 years in indoctrination. You get a job and you work for what, say, 45 years? To then, eventually, after 15 years of indoctrination, after 45 years of working your fucking arse off, to then maybe have 20 years of relaxing. When you're old, if you're a man, your testosterone's low, you have not as much life because you've spent it on 45 years of work. For what? Why am I 23 and already out the system? Of course I still have to pay tax, of course I still have to do these things, but why am I 23? And I've already figured this part of life out. And I'm not the only one. There's many more younger lads than me making way more money than me. I'm not saying I'm rich or anything like that. I still live in my parents' house. But what I'm saying is, why not wake up now? Maybe you're 30. Maybe you realise you're sick of the job. Why not stop working now? You've got your 9 to 5, okay? What about your 5 to 9? Start using that 5 to 9 p.m. in the evening to start building something for yourself, whether it's a business, whether it's online coaching, whether it's boxing coaching, whether it's building a cigar business. Use them 4 hours from 5 to 9 to start building the life that you actually want. Stop living a life that you don't want to live. Why do I feel like I'm qualified to speak on stop living a life what you want to live for 6 years? From 17 to 23, or we could say 16 to 22. I used drugs. I drank. And I changed my life. With the help of God, of course. You can change your life as well. Why confine yourself to what you're told is what we have to do? Why not live exactly how you want to live? You know, I made an Instagram reel yesterday, like a short video on Instagram saying, what did I say? I don't know how this is even relevant, but what I said was, you feel like you have no purpose in life. Maybe you feel like you have no purpose because you don't have a goal. You don't know what you want to do. You thought the goal was to go to school, go to uni, to get a job. And maybe that was the goal. Maybe that paid off. Maybe you're on a good wage, but now you don't have a goal. Maybe throughout school, throughout uni, you felt like you had a purpose. Then you've left uni, got that job, and you don't feel like you had as much purpose as before. It's because you don't have a goal, man. If you had a goal as a man, you would feel like you had purpose. What's my goal this year? Get a certain car, get a mortgage. I feel like I have purpose because I wake up every day knowing that I need to make the actions required to achieve them goals. So I feel like I have purpose. One of my goals at the start of the year, quit my 9 to 5, I did it. Like I said, I'm not earning as much money as I want to be earning, but I'm living the reality that I want to live. I wake up when I want. I work when I want. But guess what? A lot of people would think, oh, let's just work 2 hours a day. Let's wake up at 10. Let's go out on the weekends and party because now we've made it. We don't have a 9 to 5 anymore. Well, what do? I get up early. I work my arse off all day. And I work out and maybe have a cigar. Because I want to keep doing better. I have goals. I have aspirations. Yeah, the goal was to quit the 9 to 5. But that was just a stepping stone in the journey. If I want to go far, I need to be working. I need to be getting up earlier than people. I need to be working harder than people. I need to be using my brain more than people to get further than the average person. You know, maybe you've never watched any of my videos and you don't really know my full story, and I will be dropping a full video on my whole story. But before you judge this video, go and watch my other videos and realise that I'm only saying this to wake your brain up. I'm only saying this to wake you up. I'm not saying this to put you down. I'm not saying this to think that I'm better than anyone else. I don't think that at all, genuinely. If you knew me in person, I'm the most humble person. I'd like to think so anyway. Maybe you're judging me by what I'm wearing. A plastic bin bag. Some tracksuit bottoms, some Nike shoes. Maybe you're judging me from what I'm wearing, but if you start letting your ego go and accept that maybe certain people who are younger than you have the answers because we've been exposed to more at a younger age via social media. You know, there's some clever young lads. I know 16, 17-year-olds making 100k a month in Dubai. You know, it is possible. Anything is fucking possible. I made a video before, but how bad do you actually want it? It's Friday night. I could be going out partying, but I did that for 6 years. You have to make mistakes. They're all lessons. Now my Friday night is sitting in the rain, having a cigar, speaking to you guys, and I would not have it any other way. I'm going to bring it to a close there. Guys, if you don't know, I provide coaching, lifestyle coaching, so not only can you get in shape, we can switch your mindset to think. Not necessarily how I'm thinking. The whole point of my coaching is to make you be the best version of yourself. Like I said, I came from using drugs every day, drinking a lot. Drinking at least every weekend, some days every day throughout the week. Using hard drugs on the weekend. And I want you to feel what I now feel. The freedom of being sober. It doesn't mean you have to go sober. But let's start building that self-control. You can book a call below with me. You can also DM me on Instagram if you have Instagram. Or maybe you don't want to message me personally. Maybe you don't want to be on a call with me personally. I also have a free Telegram group, which is where I try and drop my philosophies like this on life in that group. All down in the description. You can book a call, you can message me on Instagram, or you can just join the free Telegram group. Or you can do none of them. Either way, I appreciate you watching the video. Hopefully 16 minutes of value there. Perfect timing. The cigar's done. Guys, just start thinking a bit differently. You know, your life not stuck out. If you love life and you're happy, man, I'm fucking proud of you. But if you're not, let's start making that change. Cheers, guys.